Welcome back, everyone, to the Benelux Speedrunner Gathering Online 6. We are here with our final run of the marathon. I'd love to hand it over now to apachesmash with Metal Gear Solid 3. Take it away.
Thanks very much, Hood. It's good to be here, closing the event. I know we're the last run of the day, so I'm going to get straight into it, start the countdown, and then I'll explain the old run. So we'll start the timer in 3, 2, 1, go. Yo, what's up everyone? This is Metal Gear Solid 3 on European Extreme, and we hit the incentive as well, so we're going to play in the tuxedo camouflage in every single room possible. It makes the game harder in a significant number of ways, which will be explained to you by my good friend who I brought with me on the commentary, Major Zero. Welcome, mate.
What's up, Apache? Good luck on the run, dude.
Thanks very much. Yeah, Tuxedo, I'm currently the only active person who does runs of this crazy category. The tuxedo camo is one of the worst camouflages in the game, so it makes it easier for the guards to spot us. Whenever a guard spots you in European Extreme, it's game over, and we'll have to start the room again. We can't use CQC or close quarters combat while in the tuxedo, so that makes a number of rooms harder and bosses harder as well. We have to manage stamina, because if we drop below half stamina, our aim will shake. In a normal tuxedo run, we just use the animals camo to get rid of that. And we can't use anything to reduce incoming damage, so during the bike chase section we'll take a lot more hits because our camo index is low. We'll have to do a lot to survive that. And we also can't use any disguises, so during the lab section of the game we have to remain in the tuxedo. I think I got everything that time.
Yeah, I think you got your info dump out pretty good.
We are also playing on the Xbox Series S, so the Xbox port of the game, which makes the game harder for all the wrong reasons as well. There's a hard-coded analog acceleration on the Xbox, so there's two speeds that your analog game can move at. It jumps up to the second speed very quickly, and it's simply too fast. So all the precise aiming sections of this run become way harder on the Xbox as well. So I think I've explained all the ways that this run is challenging.
There's one other bug as well with quick reloading, which is a pretty integral part of MGS3. When you double tap R2, you can reload your gun a lot quicker. But on the Xbox version, when you do that, sometimes it just lowers your gun unexpectedly. So you'll be in the middle of trying to shoot it, let's say the pane, and it just won't work.
Yes, it's very frustrating. It's the hang-up of them putting in ways of getting around the pressure sensitive buttons. The Xbox doesn't have pressure sensitivity, so all of those commands are remapped to the controller. And I guess they just didn't test it. It's the best thing I can say about it. They probably didn't test it that much.
I think that goes for most things on the Xbox version of this game. The Virtuous mission is pretty simple. It's mostly get in and get out. There's a few guards in your way. There's not a whole lot you really need to worry about with them. Just shoot them, make sure you don't get an alert. This guy, he's going to shoot the wall, which gets the attention of the guard just behind the wall there. That's going to make the guard run behind the tree and call on his radio for backup, which gives Apache an opportunity to just walk right on behind him. See, because he's distracted talking to his HQ on the radio, he doesn't actually pay attention to the fact that he should be able to hear footsteps right behind him, so he just doesn't. This room is Ross Viet. He opens up with a quick headshot on that guard. Basically, the premise of that is you aim your gun, which does a little bit of horizontal auto-aiming for you. It lines you up horizontally on the guard, and then he goes into first person and stands on his toes, which is going to put him on the perfect level so that when he just releases a square to fire the gun, it's lined up right with his head, and he gets an instant headshot on the guard. We call that a quick headshot. You'll see that several times throughout the run. It's really important, actually, because we try to eliminate free aiming from this game as much as possible, especially on the Xbox version, because of the analog acceleration issues that he's mentioned before. So it's really important that you get rid of that free aiming. And that's pretty much the end of Virtuous mission here. All he has to do now is walk out of the room and then do a cure section.
Yeah, Tuxedo has, just by its nature, a lot more free aiming sections than the normal Euro run. There's quite a lot of first-person aiming in this run. The place where it becomes really difficult is during boss fights, so during the Ocelot unit, during the Pain, and during the Fury. Those fights are quite tough on European Extreme anyway, but when you add the need to contend with the analog acceleration, they become even harder.
Definitely. These injuries are always the same. They're always in the same order. He's going to do a small optimization, which he's already done. When he gets to a certain point in the injuries, he presses right D-pad to put him back on the previous type of injury that he was curing, so that way he doesn't have to menu as much. Just saves about a second. Because it likes to move you around on your injury screen there. It's very annoying.
Right, going in Snake Eater. Before we put the camo on, we're going to get a mushroom because we need it for the first room with guards. There's a trick to doing this room in the tuxedo because our camo index is so bad. But I'll talk you through that when I get there. But I do need to equip it now. We try and do all our menus together because it costs time to go in and out of the pause menu. So this room here is, yeah, gotta get that snake. This room here is by far one of the more challenging rooms in Tuxedo. Very easy to get caught. I'm gonna do a precise roll at the start of the room. If I do this roll wrong, too early or too late, I will just immediately get seen. Looks okay. So I'm gonna equip the mushroom here. I'm gonna wait for a specific audio cue. And what I want to do is make both these guards turn around. I have to wait for the second guard as well. And now I'm going to silence my footsteps by holding a stun grenade. And now I need to get over to the right hand side of the room to avoid being seen. If I'm too close left, I will still get seen. So yeah, glad that room's over. This room's pretty challenging as well, just because it's so precise. Got to execute 2 rolls to get out of these guards' vision. And then roll down this bridge, which will keep my camo index low or high. Whichever one means I don't get caught. Whenever you roll, you get slightly more camo index.
Yep. Very relevant in the mountain section as well, particularly in a normal run.
So you see that number in the top right of the screen, it's like shown as a percentage. If it's in red, it's in minus. It goes from minus 100 all the way to positive 100. And that just means you're easier or harder to see. We get our trusty cardboard box. Extremely useful tool in this run. And we'll do the first boss fight, the Ocelot unit. This one, particularly on the Xbox, is a really, really challenging fight. It's 10 guards. We're not allowed to get seen by any of them.
First things first, he's going to go into his backpack and put on the Mark 22, which he just got from Eva, and put on the box as well. And then he's going to take a shot on this guard out the window. It's very important that he doesn't get a headshot here, otherwise that'll get him an alert in just a few seconds here. Now he's going to do a long-range shot on another guard. This one does need to be oh, I guess not. Do it the slow way. He does another shot to the northeast. That one also needs to be a body shot, or else he'll get an alert from the roof guard. Throws a stun grenade at the base of 4 guards, who will storm the room in just a few seconds here with a well-placed stun grenade. You can get them all, and he does. Leans across the door to get a headshot on the roof guard. Now, MGS3 has a weird mechanic. If you're leaning outside of a corner, guards cannot see you as long as you're leaning, and your core body position is behind the wall. And from here, it's just some cleanup. And he is great job. So here, this is what I was talking about. Leaning around the corner. If he just pops out of that corner right now, the guard will give him an alert. So he has to lean around that corner and take that headshot, just like he did. That was very good.
It's a really tough little section. Any slight movement mistake means you're getting caught. So we have to be super, super careful during that section.
Very true.
Do we have time for a couple of donations?
Absolutely.
Thank you very much. We have 10 euros from Nick RP Green. He says, "Thanks for having me, BSG. As Solid goes for a lie down, let's all enjoy watching Daddy Snake don a tux in the jungle. Good luck, Apache. Smash it as always, mate." That brought us up to 1,400 euros, which equals our total from BSG Online 5. And then Nick RP Green donated another 3 euros and said, "Should have donated more to push it over, so have another 3 euros because MGS3, I guess." And then finally, we've also had €5 from Mockingjay, who says, "Gotta love a man in a suit. Good luck on the run, and I hope to hear the end speech, please."
Thanks very much, Nick and Katie. Appreciate you. All right, Bolshire Pass South. We have to do a completely different strat from the normal Euro run in this room because our camo index is so bad that the ordinary strat would just get us seen almost instantly as soon as we climb over the tree. So we're going to avoid some claymores on the ground here, and then we're going to take out 2 dogs, non-lethally. No dogs are killed in the making of this speedrun. And now we can safely go over the tree. Shooting those dogs still does distract guards that are further on in the room. So once we drop down here, we're going to set up on some guards, hopefully so one of them sees us in the distance and begins taking a long walk towards us, and then we can just take out the other one to continue. He'll see me now. I have to wait for him to walk away, and now go through this little hole in the fence. I'm going to need to put one more dog to sleep as well. So that was good. We have to avoid a couple of traps in that room as well. If we set off any of the traps, some of them are explosive, some of them are just like sound traps. It will make the next room impossible, so it's a good job we avoided those. So we are going for the Foxhound rank, which is no kills, no alerts, no continues, and no life meds used. An interesting mechanic in the game is if you kill a guard by shooting an explosive barrel, it doesn't count as a kill. So we can use them to our advantage. Alright, it's Ocelot.
Now going into the Ocelot fight. This is a duel with Ocelot. Start with a Mark 22 shot to stop him in his tracks. That sets him up for the loop. Throw a stun grenade, and he's going to use a process of stun grenades and well-placed Mark 22 shots to keep Ocelot in this position for hopefully the entire duration of the fight. This is the second stun grenade. Now he shoots the goat, which is going to get Ocelot's attention. So after this shot, Ocelot's now going to look at the goat, which gives Apache another opportunity to get 2 more shots in. That's a really clean fight. Come on. Oh, really unlucky. Runs behind the tree, but he still managed to save it. Got a pretty good fight out of that. So at the end of the fight, Ocelot can run forward, backward, left, or right, pretty much anywhere. And you wanted to go backwards. That's the most ideal option because he just is really an easy shot. But still, that's not too bad.
Yeah, back or left is good. When he goes right, he can sometimes go in that gap between the rock and the tree, which fortunately he did. But sometimes he can just stand behind the rock, which is a nightmare because you just can't hit him from anywhere. It's one of those sections where we use the advantage of third-person lock-on and never go into first-person and try and aim for him.
Oh yeah, big mistake because he moves too fast. You're not going to be able to hit him, realistically.
This section of the game is really, really dark. You're supposed to find a torch, or if you just wait here over time, the game just makes the room lighter and lighter as though your eyes are adjusted into the dark. But we've done it enough times that we can just leave. This next boss, the Pain, is done almost exclusively with first-person aiming for headshots, and it is incredibly tricky on the Xbox, and if I mess up the cycles, I will die very quickly. There's also a glitch where if you throw your smoke grenade out at the start, sometimes it just won't dissipate the swarms, even if you throw it in the right place. If that happens, I'll die and there's not that much I can do about it.
Yep.
Yeah, game fight is hard.
So like he said, he's going to open the fight with a smoke grenade thrown right at the Pain's feet there. That's because he's throwing a swarm of bees at him. It landed in the water. He's dead.
I'm going to try and save it. Not with that grenade, I'm not.
Not with that.
I have to reset.
Yeah, I think that's a bit cooked.
I used the wrong grenade.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, so my grenade just hit the Pain and bounced off the Pain and landed in the water. Hopefully it doesn't do that again.
Very good, it didn't. So that smoke grenade now will disperse the swarm of bees that's flying at him, and it did, very nice. So now all Apache needs to do is get 4 headshots, which will make the Pain put up his bee shield, at which point Apache will throw a grenade, which brings down the shield and gives him some opportunities to get some more headshots. As long as you can maintain a good rhythm, the Pain will put his head back into a good headshot position after every second shot. So but still very well-placed shots. Now, this is phase 2. It's going to be mostly the same as the ending of phase 1. He's going to open up with a grenade, which takes down the Pain's bee shield. At the beginning of this fight, the Pain throws what are called bullet bees, which are those red bees flying around, and those guys are really deadly, but there's a bug in the HD edition that causes them to not hit you if you just stay in first person. So that's what he did. He just stayed in first person, was able to get some clean headshots, and that was a really good Pain fight overall, other than the first reset.
Unfortunate. As soon as you hear it drop in the water, it's like we're going to do. You can sometimes salvage it by throwing a smoke grenade straight after, but the Pain will start rolling and mess up his cycles. He'll throw grenades back at you. It's all the things you kind of want to avoid in order to make that fight go really fast. I'm going to pick up some moldy cave mangoes right now. I'll need those for later. So there is a system in this game where you eat food. You can eat animals and fruit and things in order to replenish your stamina. In a normal run, it's not used because Ocelot drops a camo called the Animal's Camo, which prevents your aim from swaying even if you blow half stamina. And we just kind of abuse that in the normal Euro run, but I can't do that in Tuxedo. As I swim down the river, there's some spotlights, which will see me quite easily, so I have to kind of swim around to avoid them. Exclusive to the HD collection is a face paint called Brown, which gives you unlimited oxygen. Tuxedo doesn't allow you to wear face paint, so if you go into the menu, the face paint section is kind of grayed out, so that's just another way that Tuxedo makes the game harder.
So this is the section where you first encounter the end. This is your opportunity to snipe him early if you want, but that's not what Apache is going to do. Instead, he's going to shoot 2 barrels. One of those barrels is going to damage the end. As you can see, it's taken about a quarter of his health or so, something like that. And that's going to be really important for the fight a little bit later on when he fights him, because he's going to start with less health during the normal boss fight. He shoots another barrel, of course, to get rid of the rest of the guards in the room. So this is Warehouse 1, a notoriously tricky room. First, he has to nail a tricky roll over this railing.
Missed
like
it.
I said, tricky.
100% caught.
No, you have the box. Oh, the box could have saved you. That's a shame.
You have to get over that rail. It's kind of a glitch that you can get over that rail in the first place. There's multiple little sections in the game that you're not really supposed to be able to get over, and this is one of them. But you have to get over first time. If I hadn't have taken that death on the Pain, I would have just left the room and reset and tried again. But because I'd already taken the death on the Pain, I didn't think it was worth doing.
Yeah, so as you can see, the premise for this room is to bump roll into some guards, which knocks them over, and by the time you recover, you're already out. Or sorry, by the time the guard recovers, you're already out of his cone of sight. So you just move on up the stairs doing that, repeating that 3 times. That's how you get through. It's a tricky room because, especially the first roll at the bottom of the stairs, you have to take a really weird angle to get up the stairs, and you don't have a lot of time to play with. So really easy to mess that room up.
That's actually a glitch that guard can give you a caution because we hit him in the head with the Mark 22, and while he has the Mark 22 shot in his head, he turns around, looks at you, and causes the caution. The game has a lot of weird interactions with that. Like you can shoot a guard with an unsilenced weapon in the head, and he will alert to the sound of the gun, get hit by it, and still give you a game over. So you have to be wary of things like that.
Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous. There are also some instances where you can roll into a guard, like after trank rolling into him, which would knock him out, and he'll still alert on you, even though he's like mid like being knocked over by the roll. It's pretty lame.
I think it happens more at higher frame rates as well.
That would make sense. So he just did what's called a trank roll. That's what I was talking about just a second ago. If you shoot a guard anywhere in the body with the trank gun and then roll into him, it's an instant knockout. Now, because he has the tuxedo on, he can't use the scientist outfit at all for the entire game. The intended gameplay mechanic here is that you would use the scientist outfit and then just walk on through here without any issues at all, and the guards wouldn't care. So because he can't do that, he has to do a lot of cleanup on these guards to make sure he doesn't get any alerts. He's doing a pretty good job right now. The hard part is the escape. That was a punch kick buffer, so he can wait to make sure that this guard that he just shot in the head is in a better position. If he opens the door too early, he'll just bump into the guard and get an alert.
It's a good job that scientist was turned around.
Yeah, really.
He's not always. He can be facing towards us as well. Alright, leaving is much more difficult. I need to crack open this door with the box in such a way that the scientist doesn't see me and it doesn't close. That's not good. Wait for a sound cue. Then a punch kick buffer, re-equip the box. That makes sure the guard in this room isn't facing towards me. Okay. That
Very
room's really
nice.
tough.
Is this a good time to quickly jump in?
Crack on, my friend, not a problem.
Thank you very much, Apache. We have had a €5 donation from JMC, who says, Euro Extreme and a Tux and Major on commentary, sign me up. Good luck, Apache. Also, hi, Huds. Hey, JMC. Thank you very much for your generous donation. I just want to remind everyone watching that if you have missed a previous run during this marathon or any of our marathons, make sure to check out our YouTube. Get subscribed as well because we have some cool, unique content coming very shortly. youtube.com/BSG Marathon.
So I'm heading along to a boss called the Fear. I'm just going to take out one more guard here. I'm just going to line up a quick headshot with him, hopefully. Nope. Because I was slow in this room, I may get a continue on the other side of it because you are on a timer here. You can go too quick and too slow. Anytime I miss a quick headshot setup like that and a guard's walking towards me, you will see me like crouch or prone. That just increases my camo index by a tiny amount, which means it's longer before the guard will actually see me.
Very nice. Got through. Okay, so this is the Fear. What he's going to do is he's going to run to the rope trap on the east side of the room and use a fake death pill. And using the fake death pill is going to make the Fear run up to him. And once the Fear is in a certain position, that's a pretty good place. It's not optimal, but it's fine. Once the Fear is in a certain position, he's going to revive, then throw a stun grenade at his feet, which is going to stun the Fear, of course. Now, the Fear has a weird bug. Whenever he's stunned, all damage gets turned into stamina damage, and he gets no iframes. So Apache just activates the trap, which the Fear is standing right in front of, and the trap just kills him for us really quickly. Very nice. And that was good execution, too.
Yeah, it just works out that as you need to do this menu, your stamina is under half as well, so you can eat food as well to increase our stamina. I'll eat again as well a little bit later in the run.
That's right. It is about this time in a normal run where we would equip the cheese camo, the animal's camo, which makes us never worry about stamina ever again. So this is Warehouse 2, one of the hardest rooms in the game. He's going to do a box headshot on this guy. Oh, sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself here. He's going to roll off the railing and then do a box headshot on this guy here. Box headshot is a strange game mechanic. For some reason, if you come out of the box while spamming the fire button, your gun will fire higher. That, in combination with the guard seeing you and lowering his head, puts you in the perfect position to get an instant headshot. As long as you line it up properly. And that's what we call a box headshot. Very tricky to execute because you have to aim, totally free aim. There's no auto aim involved. And on top of that, he does it all in the Snake Eater camera, which is very uncommon.
Yeah,
Very impressive that he can do that.
I think the most tricky thing about them is, like, if you set them up wrong, if you fail to do it, you are caught. So you're putting yourself at the mercy of executing it every single time you do it. But very, very handy for speeding up the run. I'm going to knock that guard down so he falls behind the tree. And then I'm going to cook a grenade to get behind this guard so he doesn't hear my footsteps. change to the cigar gas spray. Nope. That, yeah. Bit of a flubbed menu here. Alright, this next part's the end. It's not the end of the run. It's a boss called the end. There's also a boss called the boss, but that's not this boss. That boss is at the end. Metal Gear Solid 3. And the end is just there. If you can't see him, because he's really far away, we're going to use our Mark 22 like a sniper to hit him 3 times. There's a strange mechanic in this game. When the end, after 25 seconds, if you haven't interacted with the end, after 25 seconds, if he hears you shoot a loud gun, he will teleport to the furthest location he can see you from. So we can manipulate that. So we've waited that amount of time, and now I'm going to throw a smoke grenade between me and where he's going to spawn, and then fire my gun 3 times to make sure he spawns, and now I'm going to head towards him. If I didn't throw that smoke grenade, he would have instantly shot me as soon as I fired my loud gun. Credit to Go-Go Time for coming up with this idea for fighting the end. It's the fastest way to beat him. And credit to you, Major, as well, for creating this really fast way of doing the loop.
Yeah, this is a combination of what Go-Go Time found and what we used to do for the end. It's basically a stun lock loop with stun grenades and smoke grenades. So you'll notice he just threw a stun grenade at him there, and now he's throwing a smoke grenade. It's really important that he hits the end with those grenades, because the animation of him recoiling from getting hit by the grenade stops the end from throwing his own stun grenade, as you saw there. If Apache didn't stop the end from throwing his grenade earlier, he would have lost the loop much earlier. So good that he stopped him. Oh, the magic 1 pixel of HP remaining. That sucks.
I'm going to get in front of the end there. So if you're in front of the end moves faster than Snake. So if you're in front of him, he will just push you at his speed. So it's a way of not losing him, essentially. Alright, there's something I do on my stream always during this section. If you've ever seen me do a run of this game before, you'll know. I never talk during the ladder section, so this is the ladder, the famous ladder from Metal Gear Solid 3. During it, a little song plays. Don't worry, it's not. It won't get you DMCA'd or anything. It's part of the game, so I'm just gonna let this one play. So thanks everyone for watching. Alright, thanks for listening to that one. If that ladder was real, it would be the tallest ladder in the world. We googled it.
I forced him to say that.
Yeah, he did. Huds, if you got anything to say, you're welcome to jump in, mate.
Thank you very much. Yeah, we just want to thank ESA for supporting the event and for allowing us to stream this and all of our marathons on their channel. For information about their upcoming events and any changes due to the COVID-19 outbreak, be sure to check out esamarathon.com. And if you'd like to participate in an event similar to BSG, we highly recommend checking out UKSG. UKSG is an event that is normally held in Glasgow, running 4 times a year supporting Crisis, and currently they are also doing their events online for the time being.
I love UKSG. I've been in UKSG 7 times. It's also the first event I ever did a run at. Oh my god, that was a mistake.
Oh,
I don't know what happened there. Like I just shot too early, so we turned around. Ugh, what a mistake. Mountains. There's 3 mountain screens. They're all made much more difficult in the Tuxedo than a normal Euro run. You're on a timer in every single section. You also have some first-person aiming to do first, and you can't miss any of the shots. So you have to be really careful, because if you miss any of these shots, the guard will like go onto a caution. I'm trying to do like little tiny micro changes to my aim, and it's difficult. I might be too slow again. This is going to be too slow. But all I'm trying to do is get all the way over to the other side of the room so I can hit this guard before he turns around. So he's going to turn around now. Yeah. It's because the aiming's too slow. Alright, one more try and then I'm going to do the backup of the backup. So you can see that acceleration come into play whenever I'm like move my aim into a position and then I need to make a micro adjustment. The controller almost won't let you like move slightly enough. Like tiny movements are very difficult. So it's all about this guard that I'm running towards. I have to get to him before he reaches the end of his pattern. And just to do that. Anyway, that's the easier of the mountain rooms.
true.
So because my camo index is so low right at the start, the guard will see me, which means in order to score an instant headshot, I have to stand on my tiptoes. It just lines up perfectly.
The normal strat for that room is even funnier because in a normal European extreme run, you would just press square and it would hit him right in the head every time, as soon as you gain control of Snake.
You've got to be careful whenever you use the box. We use the box to climb up the mountain faster, so there's no stutter step animation while you're in the box. When you climb up an incline, it's slower. So we use the box to go at full speed. If you go behind a guard in the box, he will hear you sooner than if you just walk in normally. So you need to be aware of that. I think I'm too far to the left. I might get caught here. No, we're good. There's a very delicate spot essentially on that rock. If you're too far to the left, the guard on the left will just see you. And we see how good Snake's hitbox here is.
Mountains 3, notorious for being the hardest mountains room. Because you're always playing a delicate game with guards of being just inside or just outside of their cone of vision. So you're constantly having guards saying, who was that? And going to investigate where you're at. So you gotta play a game, keep them in check pretty much. Shoots the barrel there to get rid of that guard at the end of the room. He's one of the most deadly for sure. And so is this guy who's taken out now. Those two guys are definitely your lead alert getters in this room. So he just takes them out. Very clean.
This is one of these where you can see the power of how fast the Xbox loads this game. This is one of the longest cutscenes on the PlayStation 3. It normally takes about like 20 seconds. It takes basically none on the Xbox. Traveling back down the mountain, this is one of the only times I use the 3D camera. The 3D camera, as opposed to static, lets you move it around at will. This is the only time I use it in the whole run. got to remember to menu the Mosin Nagant here. The Mosin Nagant is a sniper rifle that you get for beating the end with a non-lethal victory. It's really good versus the Fury and the boss. It does the most stamina damage to them. It's the fastest way to kill them. The Fury is the hardest boss in the game. It's just because there's so many different things that can happen during this fight, and it's very easy for him to kill you. So he has a flamethrower and he flies around the map. And we're going to we have to hit him 8 times in order to kill him. Even his starting position is like randomized, so I'm just going to listen to where he lands. This is the worst position.
Really bad spawn. If you get that spawn, that's pretty much what's going to happen. You're
So-
either going to instantly die or you're resigned to a casual fight. It really sucks when you get that spawn.
I think he's in the same one again.
Yeah.
he is.
Oh, no! Oh, man. All right.
It's okay, we can freestyle it.
Yep. You're going to have to. Oh, nice. He didn't fall off the platform. Let's go. Usually if he spawns there, you shoot him, he falls right off the platform. And then he has to like play a really long animation of jumping back up, and you can't loop him. I think he's going to fall off.
Yeah, he is now.
Oh my god, that was so close. He almost didn't fall. So the basic premise of the Fury is to shoot him 3 times, then bait the Fury into shooting at you with his flamethrower attack, which you'll dodge, and then the Fury will try to jump away. And while he's jumping away, you can shoot him again and repeat the cycle like that. And that, all things considered, was not a bad fight. Usually, when he gets that spawn, the fight's going to take like a minute plus, and that was not too bad.
The Fury is a boss in this game.
That's a very complicated fight because there's so many variables that you have to account for that you can't really explain while you're just watching the fight. Just rest assured, it's a very hard fight. Promise. Another box headshot. So only the finest for Volgan, as you can see.
Yeah, guards, this game's so difficult because guards are just so intelligent and will just be able to work out where you are. Okay, we have to capture Rykov and steal his clothes. In order to capture him, I'm going to throw a smoke grenade and equip my pistol. And now I'm going to shoot this guard while he can't see me. And that will cause a caution. While that caution happens from that guard, it will make Rykov just run towards this radio alarm over here, which will allow me to capture him. So this guy, we need to steal his clothes.
Does the SIG spray bug with 1 ammo happen on Xbox as well?
Yeah, so it's every version of the game, I believe. Because the game like forces it unequipped if you have 1 ammo, but it also, when it unequips it like that, it just makes the smoke disappear.
Right. And what we're talking about is if you have 1 ammo left in your SIG spray and you shoot it, it just won't work. It won't kill him.
So 1 ammo is basically none.
Mm-hmm.
It's when I got interviewed by Zonorous, he asked me if there's any glitches in the game. Yes, it's that. That's the one glitch in the game. There is quite a few glitches in this game, but they don't work in European Extreme. So you can actually skip the pain fight by using fake death pills, but because you only get 1 in European Extreme, you can't do it, which is a shame because he killed me. Alright, this is an unskippable cutscene where we're going to be tortured. I'm just going to kind of mute my game audio for this section. It's a bit grim. HUDs, if you want to talk at all, now's a quality time.
Yeah, I just want to remind everyone that we are raising money for Mind, which is a nationwide organisation committed to prevent mental health issues and to support everyone who is dealing with mental issues themselves or within their family. All of your donations are going to Mind, and the work they do is incredibly important. Did you know, for example, in every region of the world, mental disorders surpass 10% of the population, and governments seem to lack momentum in reducing the burden of mental health problems, as only 55% have mental health awareness and only 8% have suicide prevention plans. And organisations like Mind help raise awareness to the issue, helping us to get one step closer to a world where everyone gets the help they need. This is our last run of the marathon, so if you want to donate to this very worthy cause, now is absolutely the time to do it.
Yeah, mine's a pretty great charity. Be proud to be raising money for them, actually. Quick shout out to House Test for who donated the money for this incentive. Cheers, buddy. Appreciate you. I've actually had food poisoning. I've been sick for like a week. I got better like yesterday, so it's been rough. There was a point where I was thinking I might have to drop out the marathon if I continue to be this ill, but miraculously got better just before my run, so there's that. And if anyone can find a way to skip this torch section, you will have my gratitude. We've tried, right? We've experimented with ways of getting around it, like getting into the C3 room earlier, things like that.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. If you can find a way to get past that door that leads into the Shaglot hangar, which is normally locked, and get the C3, you can just plant it and carry straight on to Volgan. The story will pick up right where it thinks you should be at. But currently, we have no way of getting in there that we know of. There are several really interesting bugs and skips in this game, but they don't really work in single segments, so can't really do them. All right, so he's going to grab the fork and then kick a rat to death. It's very important that he does that and in that order, because otherwise the rat will run all over the room and he's really hard to hit. That's really why. And he needs the rat.
It's kind of funny that your movement dictates where the rat goes. He's based on what you do.
Yeah, it's so weird. I don't know why. But he makes Snake vomit, which is going to make Johnny open up the door. He grabs the rat, which he's going to need in the next room. So now he's going to give Johnny the old left, right, good night. And he's going to drag his body so he can pick up some smoke grenades off of his corpse here, which is really important for all of escape, really.
Yeah, we need
Now,
those.
he goes into the next room with the rat equipped. This is a frame-perfect trick that he's about to do in this room. He's going to throw the rat, which is going to distract a guard in the southeast, then cook a smoke grenade and run to the west. And it's frame-perfect whether or not he gets this. Oh, he got it. That's really hard.
It's always fun to get all the hard stuff in your run and mess up some of the easier stuff, but we're definitely enjoying our Xbox Live today. Runners generally don't like the Xbox version, I'd say. Alright, this trick's tough.
It's not tough. He's lying to you. All you have to do is cook a smoke grenade, aim up a little bit, and throw it. He says it's tough because what he used to do is he would angle up the smoke grenade based on like calculations from the position of the sun and the moon, and then he would act like he's trying to throw the smoke grenade into low Earth orbit or something like that. Really, all you need to do is just aim up a little bit and throw it. That's it.
Alright, that room's hard if you don't do it right. Something I'm going to do here in the sewers is grab the extra life med. It loses a little bit of time, but in Tuxedo during the bike chase, you can just get really bad RNG and take way too much damage. So you can play perfectly during the bike chase, and RNG will still kill you. Even with 2 life meds, it's still theoretically possible to die, to use both of them and still be killed. So you can imagine how much incoming damage you can actually take during that section. But 2's pretty good. We can pick up 2 without losing much time. I didn't mention, but we don't wear the tuxedo during this portion of the game because we can't. It actually gets taken off us for the escape section.
Sewer section hard. You know, I joke, but it is actually, because this is surprisingly... People lose a lot of time in this room. Like, a lot more than you might expect for a room that is just walking to the end. But there's actually a lot of, like, intricate movement techniques that you have to use in this room that you don't really use anywhere else. For example, whenever you crawl into any of those crawl spaces, and there's like 4 of them that you have to crawl through, you lose control of Snake for a moment, and you have to reapply your movement. So if you don't do that immediately, you're going to lose time each time you go into a crawl space, and then standing up is its own thing. It's just surprisingly in-depth.
It's funny how they made it like that. How they make you just go to a stop as soon as you enter intrusion view, and you have to reapply the movement every single time. It just seems like counterintuitive, but it is what it is. This is the sorrow.
Yep.
We just have to kill ourselves to get out of the sorrow.
Hey Apache, you know if you picked up the RPG in the mountains, you could kill yourself a little bit quicker.
I know if I
Did you know
equip the cigar as well, and if I had done that, I could have used the grenade, but I forgot to put the cigar on. There is actually a glitch in Tikagoni where you will initiate a dive onto land and then roll, and it will allow you to essentially roll up a mountain that you couldn't normally get up. It saves like 12 seconds, but if you fail it, then you lose a ton of time. So you don't really see runners do it just because it's so late into the run, and it's very, very precise as well. I think only Appel has done it in an actual MGS3 speedrun.
Yeah, it's in his run on the board. It is his PB. It's great. I love it. That's one of my favorite runs on the board.
A big shout out to Appel. He found a lot of things in this game. A lot of really cool stuff.
Oh yeah, for sure.
All right, so we have all
So
our
there's
stuff
that
back
loading
now.
screen gone.
Yeah, that's 23 seconds on the PlayStation 3 just for that one loading screen.
And it was like 5 here, maybe.
So yeah, it's the benefit of I'd say the only benefit of the Xbox Series S is that it just loads really fast, and the X doesn't load faster than the S, so they both load at the same speed. We're kind of at the point where I don't think it could load any faster than it does.
Probably not.
So put the tuxedo back on now. As for the rules of the category, you have to equip it in every room possible. So it doesn't matter where you do it in the room, just as long as you equip it before you finish the room.
All right, so he's going to get this guy's attention with the box, and then shoot a guard behind him. And he's going to do exactly what he did on the first time he went to Groznygrad. He's going to equip the box, which tricks the guard's AI into thinking he's just not there, or ignoring him, or whatever. And he can walk right by him. It's a weird AI prioritization bug, I think. When a guard sees a fellow guard unconscious, he'll go to investigate it. And while he's investigating it, he won't be able to see Snake in the box. And you can just walk right on by him.
Just another reason the box is the best item in the game.
For sure. Better than stealth camo. You know, runners are often asked, wouldn't you want stealth camo? No, we want the box. Give us the box, not stealth.
Yeah, because they take the same slot, you can only have one or the other, so like you can't have stealth and the box equipped, so I'd rather have the box.
Yeah. So what he's done there is he's shot the liquid fuel tank here, which gets the attention of a mechanic standing on a catwalk just above the fuel tank. And in this game, whenever a scientist or a mechanic hears a gunshot, that mechanic will alert, or I should say, send every guard in the room into caution, and every guard in the room will go to investigate, or basically check on that mechanic. So they're all going to run up to that catwalk where that mechanic is right now, which is conveniently out of Apache's way. And he has just enough time to plant all 4 of his C3 charges before the guards come back from checking on that mechanic. This is actually the easiest room in the entire game.
For sure.
It's actually easier on European Extreme than it is on Very Easy, because on Very Easy, there's not a mechanic there, so this trick doesn't work.
Normally we would use CQC to throw Vulcan to the ground, but because we're in the tuxedo, we don't have CQC, so we just run into him, and then his punch basically gets forced past us. And I'm going to run away. I want him to do an electric attack, this attack. It's good phase 1.
Nice. That's really clean. For phase 2, he's going to lay down at Volgan's feet, wait for him to finish his attack there, and between each of Volgan's attacks, or at least attempting to start an attack, he has no iframes. So you can loop him, if you hit him just like basically at a very small window perfectly, you can loop him in a cycle of trying to attack you, and he'll never be able to. And he did it perfectly. That was a really good phase 2. You might have noticed that he used the SVD on Volgan. That does not count as a kill because, spoiler, Volgan doesn't die. He's the one in the Shagohod. But if he uses the SVD in the next fight with Volgan, he will die, and it will count as a kill. So he can't do that.
I created some lag there. Normally 4 guards spawn here, but because I created some lag by repeatedly firing the RPG, only 2 spawned. That was because I didn't quite fire enough. If you do create enough lag, no guards spawn. And there's a couple of sections in the game where you can create lag to prevent the guards from spawning. It's just inconsistent. So if you do get it, it doesn't really matter that much. But it's just weird that the Xbox doesn't actually lag. You just create a lot of things going on, and the glitch still happens.
You've got really good damage on the Shagohod already.
Yeah, that is pretty decent for this point, actually. You can do
incredible.
You can do a total of 40% of the Shagohod's health before the actual fight, and you want to always go for that. You do want that to happen.
The bulk of your damage will be done on the runway section, but you can do about 1/8 of his health in damage here, right now in this room. But until the runway section, you don't see the Shagohod again, so this is his only opportunity until then to do any damage. Aw, I didn't quite get it.
I did get the extra voice lines when Eva starts saying "look up ahead" and Snake says "right." So for some reason, if you fire the RPG during that section at the wall, some voice lines which aren't actually supposed to play until way later in the game just start playing.
Wait, hold on. I don't think he does say right later in the game, specifically Snake's line of right. Because I was digging through the game files, and I thought those files were unused. But I guess there is a way to trigger them. But I don't remember any other point in Bike Chase where he'll say right.
There's no reason for her to say "look up ahead" there either. Like it's just a glitch. I don't know why it happens. I don't know why it just chooses to play some random voice lines from the game, but
Definitely. Alright, so there's an RPG guard there. He throws a stun grenade to take him out. There's 4 RPG guards in this room. They can all hit you, but 2 of them are particularly deadly, the 2 at the end of the room. There's 4 guards here that he has to take out, or else Eva will sit there forever waiting for him to do it. All the other guards are more or less unimportant. Until right about now. There's going to be 6 guards. He has to take out 5 of them for Eva to progress. Again, if he doesn't take out at least 5, then Eva will sit there waiting for Snake to do it. And they'll come as a second wave. It takes a long time for that to happen, too. He got all of them, so they should not come as a second wave. And now comes the really dangerous part. So there's a guy with... He put on the life med. He's ready. There's a guy with an RPG right there. He has to get him, or else this guy will shred it. And he got him. Perfect. That RPG guy and the one at the very end of the room will shred Snake's health really bad. And finally, this is the last bit. He's leaving the room now. At literally the very last guard in the room is an RPG guard. That guy right there, he's going to shoot him. Come on, Apache! Ah! Apache! What was that?
I failed the no-scope. No way. I failed the scope.
I've never seen him miss
Not
that.
even the no-scope, the scope. Yeah, we should be good.
Yeah, thankfully you had the life med. That guy's really deadly if you're going on a Foxhound run and you don't hit him. I mean, you just go into this section with basically no health. And this is a really dangerous section as well because the gunners on the bikes here, they do a lot of damage to you. They're really high DPS and they're really accurate. So what he's done is he shot the gunners off, and now it's just the drivers. And the drivers, they're really slow to fire and they're really inaccurate. So they aren't too much of an issue. The reason he hasn't shot the drivers is because if he shoots the drivers, as you can see there, another bike just respawned. That's why. The bikes will just respawn with new gunners, and then you'll have to do the whole thing again. So he just shoots the gunners, and then lets the drivers try to shoot him, which they never really hit him, basically. There can only be 4 bikes on the screen at once, 4 enemy bikes. So no more will ever be added.
Yeah, the drivers just aren't as accurate, and the pistol's not as deadly as the machine gun.
That's right. This is one of the other benefits of the Xbox version of the game. You'll notice he's just sitting in the cinematic camera, enjoying the view. In a PS3 run of the game, you would have to be looking up to reduce slowdown right now, because the game you'd save about 25 seconds by reducing the game or improving the game's frame rate, which reduces slowdown.
Yeah, this is what we do on the PS3 for these sections.
This is where he's going to do the bulk of his damage to the Shagohod. It's pretty simple. You just shoot the Shagohod in its weak spot, which is that sort of chin area just below the head. You can't shoot too fast, or else you'll actually... I'm not sure what it is. It's like the splash damage sort of builds up. or something like that, and it hits the treads. If you hit the treads too much, the Shagohod will back down and you won't be able to do any damage. So you just can't shoot too fast, but you want to shoot as fast as you can without sending the guy back. Yeah, in MGS3, when the game's frame rate drops, the game slows down waiting for the next frames to be drawn, and you just knocked him back. That's unfortunate. The game slows down waiting for the next frames to be drawn, but the game's in-game timer does not slow down with the game's frame rate. So if you keep the frame rate high, the game will run faster, and you'll make more progress in the same amount of time, basically.
I planted 4 C3 charges. 3 more bombs left. 2 more left. A little more time. Only 1 more left. The Shagohod's not here yet. Keep your aim steady. Keep your aim steady. It's here!
Alright, the Shagohod fight. So for the Shagohod fight, there is a loop that Apache is going to try to keep the Shagohod in. He's going to open up with a well-timed RPG shot on the treads, and he does not get it. He shot slightly too early, so the treads still had iframes when he shot. The basic premise is to shoot the treads, then let Eva get behind the Shagohod, shoot the Shagohod's weak spot, which damages it, and then alternate between shooting the weak spot and shooting the treads in perfect succession. And with really good timing and a little bit of luck, you can keep the Shagohod in place for the entire duration of the fight. Now, the entire loop does hinge on that first shot. If you don't get the first shot, it's extremely unlikely that the loop will have any chance of progressing. And unfortunately, the shot was just slightly too early, so he doesn't have a loop here. So he's just going to hope for the best, hope that he gets some good RNG with Eva's driving, and make the best of this situation. Eva's driving is totally RNG. Usually, she's just going to drive around pretty much aimlessly. And he has to rely on her driving in convenient positions. Sometimes she will literally drive the opposite direction, like away from the Shagohod, and making it so you can't hit the weak spot for a really long time. If the Shagohod is stunned both treads and weak spot, Eva will try to stick behind it and stay there so you can do more damage, which is how the loop works. But overall, that fight was pretty good. Alright, so he opens up with an RPG shot on the tread, which stops the Shagohod, and then a headshot on Volgan's face with the Mosin. 4 of those, and the fight's over. This fight is pretty simple, but if you lose it, it can be a little bit annoying to get Volgan back in the loop, because he has some weird iframes, and he has a shield that can block your shots in places you wouldn't expect. Come on, you can do it! Ah! Ooh, nice stun. Oh, but he might block your shot.
Yeah,
there.
he is going to block my shot, I'm pretty sure.
That's a shame. Not much you can do about that. So now the treads are going to have iframes. Oh, they didn't have iframes. That's amazing. That's so lucky.
Went for the
Nice.
no-scope on him, it must have been a little bit off.
Yeah. Normally, if you ever lose the loop there, you have to wait for Volgan to start an attack with the Shagohod before you can actually stun the treads again. I'm really lucky they didn't have to wait there.
Okay, this is a precarious part of the run. I actually am going to take the gunners out as quickly as possible. The objective is to take as little damage as possible. Even the glancing shots of the pistols from the drivers is too much. Like, I want to go into the second room of bike chase with as much health as possible, because we're going to take so much damage.
Yep. Absolutely.
So there's set spawn points for bikes during this section. They don't just keep spawning in. There's another one coming up, and then we'll be done until we get to the guard checkpoint sections. Hitting the lead bikes is best, because when the bike drives into a bike with no gunners on it, it just gets rid of both the guards straight away. And this is the checkpoint section. So I know where the guards roughly are, so I'm going to try and take them out ahead of time. One more. Damn it, it's really hard to no-scope.
Champ, by the way.
It's really hard to hit the guard up top. You only get like one chance to do it.
All right, so there's a really important guard coming up here. He has an RPG. Again, this is another RPG guard at the very end of a room. It's really important that he gets this guy, and he's got him. Very nice. That guy is extremely deadly because, one, he does a lot of damage to you right before going into the most damaging room in the entire game where your health matters absolutely the most. And on top of that, well, I guess not so much on the Xbox version, but on the PS3 version, if that guy shoots you, the game lags to like 1 FPS for about 10 seconds. So you lose a lot of time by getting shot by him. Yeah, so this is the flying platform room. This is the highest DPS room in the entire game, where guards will do incredible amounts of damage to you. So you need to do as much as you can to reduce damage by shooting these guards as soon as possible, keeping them from shooting them at all. The major problems here are this center guy right in the middle. He'll sneak up on you really fast, and he'll come from unexpected directions. And on top of that, he can go overhead on top of you and just park himself there in a position where you cannot shoot him, but he can shoot you. Additionally, if any of these guys crash, they have a chance of crashing into you. Just there, you saw that explosion? They can crash into you, and that explosion will light you on fire. If that happens, that's really bad. Because fire bad, fire hot, does a lot of damage.
I don't want to shoot any until the middle ones come back. There we go.
Yeah, the middle guy is definitely the most important. The other two guys, because they have to shoot to the side, I guess. I'm not really sure why. They don't shoot as often. One other really important thing to remember is that an enemy's accuracy against you is based on your camo index. So the higher the camo index, the harder it is for the guards to hit you, and the lower, the easier it is for them to hit you, the more accurate they are. Because he's in the tuxedo, his camo index is perpetually low, like ridiculously low. He's basically a free shot for every guard in Bike Chase. So that makes them do even more damage in the tuxedo than they would normally. Normally, that was really good. Oh my god, you got through only losing half your health. That's really good, especially in the tuxedo.
Yeah, 50%. You're always going to be happy with 50% because you're not going to lose half your health in this last section.
For sure. Once you get here, you're pretty much home free, generally.
Yeah, Huds, I feel like I've been ignoring you, mate. Sorry. I forgot you were there.
Absolutely fine. Oh, bless. I actually have a donation to read out if you like.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, do that.
Fantastic. We have had €10 from, I'm going to butcher this name one way or the other. It's either ECG the Owl or ECG Theo W. I don't know which one it is, but thank you very much for your generous €10 donation, who says, great cause, great speedruns, already looking forward to the next BSG marathon. I know we all are behind the scenes, all the runners, the commentators, the tech, everyone. We're very much looking forward to that, but thank you for your generous donation. And yeah, I'm enthralled by this run at the moment, Apache. I'm loving this.
Awesome. Yeah, sorry, me and Major, we're kind of known for this at this point, where we just do a run and then we just kind of ignore the host sometimes. You'd think we'd get better at it over time, but like, we just don't.
I forgot there were other people in here with us.
Yeah, honestly, I forgot to stream. Sorry, it was just me and Major playing MGS3 talking about it. It's our hobby. So yeah,
okay, something interesting. There's a fourth guy that spawns on the bike there. He's not there for like the entire room, and then right at the end they throw one on. I don't know why. Sorry, what were you gonna say? That was really important.
I just say, I guess. That room is not particularly lethal. As long as you just get rid of the gunners, you can just drive through and you won't lose much health. Like I started the room with 50%, I finished the room with like 50%.
Yeah. And that's the last room of Bike Chase. So this is we go right from an auto scroller into an escort mission. Everyone's favorite combination.
Just
this
what
is
we
Eva
like
escort.
to see. Yeah, that's why it's the best game ever.
Have some more.
And now he just fed Eva the noodles. He feeds her early, because that food is just enough to keep her going for the entirety of escort. What we used to do is we used to feed her at the beginning of the second room, which would be another menu. So it would cost us about 7 seconds to do that. Feeding her early, it's about 7 seconds faster.
You don't actually have to lead her to the checkpoint there. You do for all the others, but that one, for some reason, just doesn't matter. The first room with guards is not too bad, as long as you just keep Eva moving. The guards come from the north of our position here. As long as we get moving straight away, they won't be a problem. But then the next room of guards is very tricky, especially in the tuxedo.
Oh,
got it.
She's done it!
I've
never seen that before.
That's a very rare occurrence of Eva going the left side of the tree. I go for it in pretty much every run I do, so it doesn't happen often. She's
I
like,
thought it was a myth.
the best thing about left side of the tree is it doesn't actually save time. As long as if you take a good line, it's better to take it to the right of the tree. People always remember the escort section as being really long, but it's actually not. It's only 3 rooms. It's much shorter than like the Emma escort section in 2. But because we have the tuxedo camo on, when this room starts, we can't even take a single step forward. There's a guard who's walking towards us, and there's a guard on the left who will see you straight away if you walk. So what I'm going to do with this guard is shoot him in the back to make him turn around. It's a lot easier to hit guards in the head while they're facing towards you. Shooting them in the back of the head, it's a smaller target and it's really easy to get like a neck shot. If you get a neck shot, they won't go down and they'll just look straight at you. Oh, that's not good. I had to hit that guard while running, otherwise I would have been in trouble. I'm really happy I hit that guard. He was literally running towards me at full speed.
Yeah, I think he shot the wall or something like that, and that guard was going to run around the tree and alert on you if you didn't hit him while he was running. He was also abusing the weird, I guess, hitbox or detection box or something like that of the tree. Basically, because the tree is right next to the wall there, guards can't see through the gap. So you can see through it, but they can't. So it's an easy shots for Apache.
Yeah, it's exactly what we did with the tank, where we snuck past those guards in the boxes as well. In the box, sorry. They can't like see over the corner of the tank, even though we can see them. And Eva's jumped off the cliff, which is always good because sometimes she can just choose not to. There's a weird bug in the game where after you jump off the cliff, she will just walk back to the start of the level. Loses about 2.5 minutes.
And it can happen multiple times in a row in the same run.
Yeah, and we have absolutely no idea what causes it, and it's happened to both me and Major on world record pace runs, so... Anyway, that's why it's the best game ever. Alright, that's the Eva escort, and this is the final boss, the boss.
Let's see what you're made of.
So thankfully in the tuxedo you can still parry the boss's CQC, otherwise this fight would be a real nightmare. But he still can't CQC her. So instead of doing what we would normally do as CQC slammer, he's going to punch her and then loop her on the ground with stun grenades. If you throw a stun grenade at her, it'll stop her from standing up and, of course, stun her, in addition to doing stamina damage, and it gives you a little bit of opportunity to do some damage to her with the Mosin as well. So he's going to repeat that as long as he can, but not forever, because he only has 3 stun grenades, which he just used his last one. So now he's going to have to let the boss stand up and charge him again. He's going to run away, which influences the boss into charging him instead of shooting the Patriot at him. You really want her to charge you, so that way you can counter her and get her in this loop again.
Brace yourself.
Fight's going pretty well, really.
Yeah, I didn't get enough headshots earlier. Because when I'm scoring headshots on her, she's covering her face with her arm, so it just makes it a little bit more awkward.
I found you.
Well, I only got 1 bullet. That's not good.
Oh.
Just a little unskippable cutscene. And then there's a fight in the wig, and then I will call time. So time will be coming up relatively soon. I just want to say here, while we're winding down on the unskippable cutscene, thank you so much for BSG for having me with this run and having me to close the event. Thank you for reaching the incentive for a tuxedo run. Had some issues doing it on the Xbox, that's for sure, but overall I am happy with the run. Thank you so much for Major Zero for joining me on this run as well, mate. Appreciate it.
My pleasure.
It's only.
Always happy to come for you.
Yeah, I can't think of anyone I'd rather have with me. Normally I play in Japanese, so I'll shut up and let this unskippable cutscene play. I know a lot of people like it. Like it? Yeah, we'll go with that.
Kill me now. Do it. There's only room for one boss and one snake.
And that's that. Just one fight with Revolver Ocelot in the wig. It's a duel. We always pick the left revolver because that has the bullet in it and we can fire it faster than Ocelot. And time is coming up in just a second. And that's time. You know what's quite funny is I literally said to them, like, the estimate was 112 and with the incentive it was 117. I was like, yeah, you need to put the estimate up. We can't do less than 112. And yeah, it's a 109. So like, it's the way it goes sometimes. But thank you again. As I say, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. I will just mute the credits here because that's a DMCA song right there. Yeah, BSG, all the staff at BSG are all fantastic. Shout out Rikel and Zonaris, who I've spoken to quite a bit. Thanks for hosting as well, Huds. If you like Metal Gear games, you want to learn any Metal Gear games, metalgearspeedrunners.com. We've got a wiki and a Discord. You can check out guides for all the different games. I've made a guide for this category for European Extreme Tuxedo. It's on YouTube. Please check that out if you fancy learning this ridiculous run. Over to you, Huds, my friend.
Thank you very much, Apache. Thank you for that incredible run of MGS3 to close out this marathon. And yeah, GG's for coming in under the original estimate without even the added incentive on top. So well done for that. Don't go anywhere, everyone. We are going to be having some closing remarks now coming up next, and then we will be heading off to raid someone. So, yep, stick around. We will be right back.